It's a moral obligation for the Aam Aadmi Party to provide an alternative to the people of Karnataka. In reality, they had option of only one kind of politics, because I think there were three different parties in terms of names, but their politics was the same. BJP, the Congress and the JDS have been campaigning for the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Modi, to kind of win them this election, it will be very hard for him to campaign in Karnataka. And the fact of the matter is, after looting the voter for 5 years, they are offering these gimmicks just for votes. So when you give it to an MLA, I suppose it's a welfare measure. When you give 200 units for a family, they suddenly are concerned about the economy. We don't look at the bank balance of the candidate as long as he has the ability to fight an election.
Just a couple of days ago, the Aam Aadmi Party had dissolved its Karnataka unit and then revamped after dissolving both the state and the district units. Pruthvi Reddy, who was the state coordinator, continues to be so, and he now joins me to talk about the party's grand plans ahead of the elections. Pruthvi, thank you so much for taking out time in between your campaigning, and also congratulations on your appointment once again as the state coordinator.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I want to start off by asking you what the Aam Aadmi Party's plans for Karnataka are for the upcoming elections.
So, Pooja, though we have fought elections in Karnataka state before, this is the first time we are going to be fighting the elections as the Aam Aadmi Party. In 2018, we contested the assembly elections, but that was largely an election fought by the Karnataka unit. We fought about less than 10% of the seats. And this was an effort to establish our narrative and much less actually fight elections. But this time, I was in Delhi earlier this month, and the party has taken a decision that Karnataka is ready for change, and it's a moral obligation for the Aam Aadmi Party to provide an alternative to the people of Karnataka. So this election is being fought as Aam Aadmi Party. It will involve our election strategists who are who have run very successful campaigns in Delhi, whether it's the Assembly, the MCD, Punjab, Goa, and Gujarat. So there's a lot of learnings we've had from both wins and losses. So the entire election strategy team is involved now in Karnataka. Our leadership, which is our brand and represents a new kind of politics, whether it's Arvind Kejriwal or Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh, Raghav Chadha, Atishi Marlena, they're all going to be involved in this election. And I think that kind of gives us the rocket fuel we need to fight these elections, because the Aam Aadmi Party today is the only party that can fall back upon the model we've built in Delhi and now building in Punjab. So it's important to have these leaders involved, because they represent not just promises, but promises that have been delivered.
Right. But, so far in the states that you have fought elections, either successfully or where you've made a mark, including Gujarat, critics would say that there was a political vacuum and Aam Aadmi Party presented that alternative. That might not be the case in Karnataka, where there is an opposition that is active, that is relatively strong. And there is also an alternative in form of a regional party, that is the JDS. So what space is the Aam Aadmi Party looking to occupy in Karnataka?
Very, very interesting question, because as a resident and a voter in Karnataka, I strongly believe that people had not one, but three options in Karnataka. All three of them are relatively old and established parties, but in reality, they had option of only one kind of politics, because I think there were three different parties in terms of names, but their politics was the same. So I think people of Karnataka for the first time are going to have a real alternative. So it is the traditional corrupt criminal politics against a new age politics, a politics of hope, and a politics where we are delivered and we are saying that here is what we have done and give us an opportunity for us to repeat that work in Karnataka. Very surprisingly, you would have noticed that at the moment, it seems like the BJP, the Congress, and the JDS have been campaigning for the Aam Aadmi Party. They seem to have acknowledged the work. They say that imitation is the best form of flattery. The BJP has taken up the issues of healthcare and has promised that they will build Namma clinics, which is a poor imitation of the Mohalla clinics. The Congress has promised 200 units of electricity and women empowerment, which is again a copy of what we've done in Delhi. Mr. Kumaraswamy is going around the state, and at every of his meetings, he's been promising that I will build you a quality government school. You will see that people want change, and I think Aam Aadmi Party represents that change, Pooja.
But, Aam Aadmi Party would talk about corruption the most. Now, we've seen in Karnataka, the Congress's campaign against the BJP centered around corruption. JDS and its leaders have been talking about BJP government's corruption. How would you differentiate your campaign from that of the other two opposition parties?
Right. So we are a party that has come out of an anti-corruption movement. And we are the only party that has actually dismissed 3 ministers, including sent one to jail because they were accused of 1% commission. I mean, in Karnataka, 1% commission is considered a tip. It's not even considered a bribe. So in a background of 40% commission, while the BJP is largely relying on Mr. Modi to kind of win them this election, it'll be very hard for him to campaign in Karnataka, because last time he was here about 5 years ago, he said the then government had become 10% had become 20% Sarkara. Now it's gone to 40%. So it's going to be hard for them to win on. People look at all the 3 parties as equally corrupt, and I think we definitely stand out because we walk the talk. And we have shown that sans corruption, if there is no corruption and that money is spent on people, there are a number of welfare measures that can be delivered to people who really need education, healthcare, basic requirements of water and electricity. We've done it while everyone is wondering how it can be done. I think they should just come and see how the Delhi and Punjab governments are doing it.
I want to ask you for your comment on the BJP calling welfare schemes as zavdi, or freebies, and saying, I'm sure you followed the case in the Supreme Court as well, and the Prime Minister's comments on it. But today we have the BJP in Karnataka as well, promising that they will be, giving money to women from BPL families, and they're saying that we'll come out with several schemes. So how do you view this?
So Pooja, let's differentiate between what we do and what the traditional parties are doing, right? There are MLAs and ministers, very senior MLAs and ministers in Karnataka who are distributing silk saris, who are distributing cookers, who are distributing cooking sets. And they've become so professional that they send you, based on your voter ID, they send you a message, you have an OTP, you have to go and give them that OTP, and then you get your sari or your... That is freebies. And now people need to understand, where did that money come from? People who 10, 15 years ago were walking around using buses or moving around on scooters, those MLAs are distributing these largesses. That is freebies. And the fact of the matter is, after looting the voter for 5 years, they are offering these gimmicks just for votes. So they have traditionally done things for votes and not for the voters. The difference is Aam Aadmi Party, if you look at, they say that if you give freebies, that, the economy will get destroyed. The most developed nations, whether it's America, whether it's England, whether it's Germany, Western Europe, no parent pays for their child's school education, right? So are you telling me that America is bankrupt? In England, nobody pays for healthcare. You have the NHS. So are you saying that the world's #2 economy or #3 economy is bankrupt? These are what people's taxes are meant for. Unfortunately, people pay the same amount of taxes but get nothing from the government. We have shown not just that we can deliver all this, we've also shown financial prudence, because Aam Aadmi Party, as per the CAG report, not Pruthvi Reddy is saying it, but as per the CAG report, is the only state that is running with a surplus budget. So it has been done, and we are saying that you stop the loot and all this can be done, because, the fact today, just yesterday, we celebrated Republic Day. These people are mocking our country's constitution, right? An MLA gets 4,000 units of electricity free a month. So when you give it to an MLA, I suppose it's a welfare measure. When you give 200 units for a family, they suddenly are concerned about the economy. An MLA gets 20,000 rupees of telephone allowance. Today, for 200 rupees, you can get unlimited calls, right? So what happened to the 19,800 rupees that an MLA gets every month? So this privileged class, this Raja Praja mentality is what these people truly believe. And unfortunately, after 75 years, it seems very sad to say, but it seems we're electing rulers and not representatives. And I think once that changes, you will see that these are not freebies. These are people's, rights. Even the poorest of man, when he buys a matchbox, Pooja, on 2 rupees, he's paid 40 paisa tax. So this belief that only the rich pay tax, apparently there is some, organization, they are building of taxpayers organization to fight against freebies. Are you telling me that only the people who pay income tax are taxpayers? Everyone is paying tax. And this is the arrogance of the ruling class, the people who believe that it's on their largest that people are surviving. Income tax makes up only 27% of the government's revenue. So the rest 63% is being paid by every individual. By what they may, they've paid tax.
I want to ask you about your ticket distribution. I think with just a couple of months left, you will be talking to several candidates. So what sort of candidates are you planning to field? And any big names expected? You have already announced quite a few, new entries to your party. So what can we expect?
So I think the unique aspect of the Aam Aadmi Party is that we don't go after traditional politicians, the powerful people who have been winning elections, because we believe that we have nothing in common with them. Of course, we will welcome like-minded people who have been honest people who have been involved with other parties. But our benchmark is that they need to believe in the basic principles of the Aam Aadmi Party. Most of our candidates, I would say 90+% of our candidates will be first-timers. Very, very interesting background people. Just on Saturday, we had a person who's joining, who's the son of a freedom fighter. His mother was running education institutions way back in the 50s. He's a doctor. He is a journalist. He has written books. He has been fighting for water rights. He's been fighting for farmers' rights. Very unique people who thus far would have never imagined that they would fight an election. We are going to field such people. And the interesting part is we've got for the 196 constituencies outside of Bangalore, we've already got in excess of 400 aspirants who are actually working on the ground. And the way we take a decision on tickets is based on surveys. We don't look at the bank balance of the candidate as long as he has the ability to fight an election, basic necessities that are required to run a campaign. As long as they have that, what we look for is the support of the people, their basic organization. We've been running a program called Gram Samparka Abhiyana from the past 7 months.
Ahead of Gujarat elections, Arvind Kejriwal had extensively campaigned, and in fact, 6 to 7 months before the elections, he had started making regular visits to the state. We haven't seen that yet in Karnataka. One, how much of Arvind Kejriwal can we see in the campaigning? Two, the fact that he hasn't come as frequently has led many people to believe that he's not very serious about the Karnataka elections. So, what's your take on that?
So to tell you very honestly, I think these are, things that the traditional parties are wishing for, and they'll be proved wrong. Arvind Kejriwal is going to be very involved in our election. Apart from the oath-taking ceremony in Davangere, he is going to visit all the 6 regions between the 1st of March and the end of March. And then the entire month of April, he will concentrate on specific assemblies and districts where we are doing well based on our surveys. He's completely committed. We need to acknowledge we are a small party. There are a lot of demands. Mr. Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party are fighting various battles on various fronts. Even after winning elections, they are not being allowed to work in Delhi. They are not being allowed to even swear in a mayor. So these are challenges. We are a small party. We have no false aspirations. We believe that we are going to have a very, very strong and positive campaign. We are not looking to criticize any of the other parties because there's nothing new that is to be told. I think every voter knows history, geography, and what they can expect from the existing parties. We will run a very positive campaign and tell people that, here is what we planned for Karnataka. We've delivered a lot of it. Of course, Karnataka is going to be the largest state wherein we are going to fight a serious election because Gujarat was previously the largest state. So we are growing in not just size and strength, and I think we are going to shock a lot of people with the outcome of these elections.
I want to end the interview by asking you about the nature of your campaign in Gujarat. Many described it as leaning more towards Hindutva than even the BJP's campaign. Manish Sisodia, one of your senior-most leaders, had refused to take questions about the Bilkis Banu case as well. So there is a criticism that Aam Aadmi Party is, pandering to soft Hindutva, sometimes even hard Hindutva. Is that something we will see a repeat of in Karnataka as well?
I believe in every election, our focus has been on the needs of people, and focus has been on what work we have done and what we've been able to deliver. I'll give you a very small example of Karnataka. This matter of the hijab, we believe that this is an attempt to distract people's attention from the real issues that the government school education system has completely collapsed. 64% of government schools in Karnataka don't have functioning toilets. So it's not a matter of the fact that a girl child is not going to school because of what clothes they are wearing, but the fact that she can't use the toilet, and a girl child cannot sit the whole day in a school without having a functional toilet. So whether it's a Hindu girl child or a Muslim girl child, I believe that those are the real issues, and the matter of the hijab was only taken up just to distract people, and from both ends. I'm not saying this is just the BJP, because I believe that this vote bank politics of some people depending on the minority vote bank and some people depending on the majority vote bank. I think the Aam Aadmi Party is the only party which is addressing 100% of Indian voters and talking about what are real issues for them. The BJP is looking to talk about issues because they don't have work to show. They have not delivered on any of their promises. Just today I tweeted, there is a village in Bhatkal, which happens to be the home district of Mr. Katil, who is the president of the BJP in Karnataka, who are boycotting these elections because of a lack of roads and street lights. The entire village is not going to vote, saying that you have not delivered on this. So they have exposed themselves, and because they don't want to talk and address those real issues of those villagers, of roads and street lights, they will talk about love jihad, they will talk about hijab, they will talk about halal, just to ensure that they divide the voters based on these matters, which I'm not saying are not important, but you see that, all those problems tend to resolve themselves when people sit and talk. But they don't want you to talk. They want you to fight with each other just for their political and their vote bank politics. So we certainly do believe that one side is spreading hate for the sake of votes. The other side is spreading fear for, again, the sake of votes. I think what people need is love. I think people need to discuss real issues, because whether it's a Hindu family or a Muslim family or a Christian family or a Sikh family, I think we're all struggling to pay our child's school fees. I think every parent aspires to give their children a better future. Just yesterday, I was talking to a barber who has had a stroke. They have taken him to his family has taken him to medical hospital in Kola. They've run up a bill of 5 lakhs. The discussion was whether they should spend any more money to keep him alive. And he's the only breadwinner in that family. I think these are the issues, Pooja, that we need to address. And the Aam Aadmi Party will address that. And once these issues are sorted out, you will see that India that I know of, India that we're all very proud of, will all come together to ensure these divisive forces are defeated.
Right. Thank you so much for your time. And we will continue catching up with you on the campaign trail, hopefully. And hope that you will continue us.
Thanks for having us,
Thank you
Pooja.
so much for joining us here at the News.
Thank you.